Ngwatanĩro ya AZIMIO nĩ ĩthiritwe ĩkĩgĩta maandamano njara jethiritwe za gitongererwa ni mutongereria wa ngwatanĩro ĩje AZIMIO niwe RAILA Odinga nikenda thirikari ĩthirwa ĩkĩthikira mendekithia jayo na kuma kagitene kau nawe RAIS William Samoei RUTO ethirwa akiendekithia kamiti chethirwe chikigitwa kamiti ndene AZIMIO na Kenya kamiti ndene ya Kenya Kwanza nikenda kuthikira mendekithia jaja njara jethiritwe jakiritwa ni ngwatanĩro ĩje ya AZIMIO na Kenya nyuma ya untububu kugitwa na ndi mutongereria wa AZIMIO RAILA Odinga na ethiritwe agichumiria na kuga bagacokerera maandamano ntubura bwithiritwe bukijukirwa na njira ya urito kumania kiri antu mwanya giki ni Gîchunki gya siasa.
Ruru ni rukono rwa bimebire bithiru bya siasa cia Kenya. Prabangi bagwa nduki mwekiri siasa ni umra ya mwaka nonto yomba kugarura mantu ya maingi. Na uni uma ujuni mutongerio mugongo jwa Kenya ni Dr. William Samoei RUTO. Ejite kwaria ndikibantoto ara monoto jwa ari kwaria ndikuru ya Kenya. Na mono akienda mutongeri wa kiama kia AZIMIO wa Kenya arungika maandamano. Aja mutongeri wa mugongo Dr. William Samoei RUTO ethiro akiwibonete thina andishikire tete na batenda kwitanjire ukairi.
As a believer in the rule of law and as a believer in running an accountable government, our position is that we should never be in the position that this country was put by the handshake, where there is no distinction between government and the opposition. Once you compromise accountability and oversight, you are in for a lot of trouble. Our position is that we want to engage our brothers and sisters on the other side on issues that are important to the people of Kenya, them as an opposition, us as a government. That way, the system of checks and balances remains intact.
Aja Rais William RUTO onekana na mbetere emuthina jara ira na kambi ya bagotetera na isi akigondi bubu bugategero kiri mbunge ara ikundi bire bigasemania kikema kia thirikari na kigirutero AZIMIO pombe kwarire mathina jara mbungene rwariro rukumenyeka ja bipartisan talk.
We've been this road before. We've sorted out matters in a bipartisan way in Parliament before, irrespective of what numbers there are. And in any case, the numbers in Parliament, the difference is not that much from where I sit. So I do not see any threat of any side. And in any case, when we engage in a bipartisan approach, it is not a game of numbers. It is a game of reason and how we put our arguments in a manner that carries not one side, but all sides. That is the essence of a bipartisan approach.
Nyuma mutongero mugongo Rais RUTO kwaria kaka konekana gikajuka kuboreria nyuntu na Raila Odinga na arungikire maandamano na kuga bali tayari kuunda timu yao ya gukandana na rutere rwa thirikari.
Should there be no meaningful engagement or response from Hon RUTO to our counter offer, we resolve to resume our demonstrations after 1 week.
India mena bubu kwina mantu jara ira kuinyiria no mwangaje to jakiririka mono makamishina bana ba MPC baraba chieberwe na bangi betha bakebru koti.
We want our election to have meaning, that how Kenyans vote is actually what is eventually announced by the Electoral Commission. We have also said that we do not want to see the 4 commissioners who had said no to be sacrificed. We want those commissioners to be reinstated so that we can be able to move in as a country in a one and a united way.
Therefore,
the failed policies of the last regime cannot and shall not be forced on either government or the people of Kenya, because the people of Kenya rejected them in the elections.
Nanikenda kuona rwaliro rugutana mbere nyumeno tero AZIMIO roita bunge mugwanja barabaga karande na rutero rwa thirikari nikenda bomba kwaraniria.
This is a statement by the AZIMIO bipartisan dialogue team. We will give every effort to find answers to the 4 main issues as framed by the coalition, namely a reduction in the cost of unga, electricity and fuel, forensic audit of the IBC servers, bipartisan reconstitution of the IBC, and respect for democracy and party discipline. The cost of living, especially reduction in unga, fuel and others, is our priority number 1. We expect to raise it as the very first issue in our talks. We have never said that the talks will not start until. We have said it should be lowered immediately. We expect that when we start the engagement, that will be topic number 1.
Ontubo atuma rutero rwa Kenya Kwanza beta bunge bao bonde nikenda nabo bomba kulita uge bwao na kuga bunge baria bagakarande na rutero rwa AZIMIO.
Parliamentary group reaffirms our commitment to the rule of law and constitutionalism and appreciates the role of the opposition to oversight and criticize government. However, as a PG, we affirm our support to the efforts by the government on policies that are geared towards stabilizing our economy, lowering the cost of living, and creating jobs.
India mona bobu kira kinene ni kona rwarero rukwambia na ona kinya kethira tero thirikari ruina murungamo.
We resist the attempts by the opposition to force or blackmail the government to implement failed policies of the last regime that drove the country into economic mess, including the corruption-ridden consumption subsidies, irresponsible borrowing, and gross fiscal mismanagement through the state capture.
Gitumike kinandi kia thirikari kuga batekarande na Raila Odinga nigitumite nandi Raila Odinga atirimana na kanjo yawe akionania kurega na kunganirwa na nandi kuga bo bageta na mbere na maandamano ona kinya kithira rwari kethura rureo.
Wakenya hawezi kutishwa. Wakenya watasimama imara. Wakenya wataendelea. Sasa tumekubali mazungumzo ziendelee. Lakini mimi nakubaliana na pendekezo ambayo imetoka hapa siku ya leo. Ati mazungumzo yaendelee. Mazungumzo yaendelee na maandamano sambamba.
Bobo nandi ni untubobo erukairi. Bobo nandi ni untubobo erukairi nyume ya Kenya kumenya maandamano ya kuthira.
Bwana Odinga na watu yako, mkitaka kurudi kwa barabara murudi. Bora msiharibu mali ya Wakenya. Bora msitume watu kuiba mali ya Wakenya. Na mimi nataka niwaulize viongozi wenzangu, tafadhali tuheshimu wananchi na tujiheshimu. Hauwezi ati unatafuta haki yako kama kiongozi, unaenda unafuruga maisha ya wananchi, unaharibu mali yao, unalete fujo, unaweka vita, unaenda unachoma mali ya wananchi ati kwa sababu wewe unatafuta haki yako. Mali ya wananchi, biashara ya mwananchi, kulete fujo, iko na uhusiano gani na wewe unatafuta mambo yako ya kibinafsi kama
Mwankira nandi Kenya iri ide kumenya na kethira Raila ageta na mbere kuinyiria maandamano kana kuombekana rwariro wa bunge rugaciara matunda ja kuiganua.
Na tumekubali, tumesema hata kama wako na maneno tuende kwa bunge, kwa sababu bunge kazi yake ni kuzungumzia maneno. Waende bunge, wapeleke mambo bunge, tuongee huko, tutakubaliana, tutamalizana huko bunge. Wananchi waendelee na kazi yao. Mambo ya wananchi ni tuwapangie mambo ya maendeleo.
Muthuri Murioki, Gîchunki gya siasa.